Wardrobe for the Bass Tour Anglers podcast is provided by Koppel Outfitters. Go have an adventure. Visit them online at www.koppeloutfitters.com and on social media at Koppel Outfitters. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Pro Rig segment. Our guest today is just finishing up his 9th season on the BASS Elite Series Tour. He's got 17 top 10 finishes. He is the 2012 Bassmaster Elite Rookie of the Year. Finished in the money in 60 out of 102 pro events that he's fished. He also qualified for his 3rd Bassmaster Classic by finishing 34th in the Angler of the Year standings this year on the BASS Elite Series. Brandon Card, welcome to the show. Thanks for being with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me, Keith. It's a pleasure.
That is classic number 3 for you, right?
So this next one coming up that I qualified for will be classic number 4.
Oh, I'm glad I made that mistake then. I was trying to figure that out last night. Good, congratulations. 4 sounds a lot better than 3.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Down there in Fort Worth, Texas. I love fishing in Texas. The Classic's going to be down there in March, so it should be a really awesome event.
Yeah, that's a good time to be in Texas. Really good time. Okay, well, first of all, anyone who has never seen it, after we're done with this interview, you got to make sure you go to YouTube and type in Brandon Card Working Hard. Brandon, that's one of the wildest things I've ever seen anybody do. I've seen guys sneak into places before like that, but that was a real close call, man.
That was down there on the Sabine River. I found this backwater pond that you could only access by going through a culvert. Right. And I'm not talking about a big culvert. Like, this was tight. Like, when I first saw the culvert, I didn't think there'd be any way I could get my boat through there. And so I just kind of nosed my boat up in there just to see, and it barely fit. There was about an inch on either side of the rub rail. And my engine would barely fit if I trimmed my engine all the way down. And I basically had to lay on the front deck of the boat and kind of push my way through with my hands. It was pretty wild.
Like I said, I know guys have done it before, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody captured on film before. You had a cameraman with you that day. I got to believe that your marshal was wondering what the heck you were getting him into.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy because not only was it a tight fit, but about every 5 or 6 inches on the roof of that culvert, there was a big old spider about this big. It was infested, absolutely infested with spiders. So, like they were getting on my hands. Like, I was worried about getting bit. My marshal was freaking out, from the spiders. So, that kind of added to it was just all those. I don't even know what kind of spider they were, but they looked like they were about the size of a tarantula.
Again, folks, when this is done, you guys got to see that. It's called Brandon Card Working Hard. Go to YouTube, search it, and it's pretty doggone cool video after you made it back out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I think I finished. I think I had a top 10 in that event. Yeah. So that was a nice little hole. Kind of off the grid, little honey hole that I found there. And it's always fun to find a place that nobody else has found, and then just have it all to yourself. That doesn't happen too often out here on the Bassmaster Elite Series, but it definitely worked out that week.
That was pretty cool. Well, Brandon today is going to take us on a tour of his tow vehicle and his boat. Really excited to see this one because I have not seen a Vexus boat up close before. And take us on the tour.
Yeah, this is my 2020 Vexus, the VX21. Love this boat. This is my first year with the Vexus. This boat is an inch or two shy of 22 feet. So it's just an absolute battleship. Handles the waves better than any other boat I've ever had. By far the best rough water boat in my opinion, out there on the market. It just cuts through the waves. It's got a great, just deep V. We also have airwave seats in this boat, and the airwave seats, basically absorb the impact of the waves. So that's what sold me on this boat originally. Was I was just looking for the smoothest ride that I could possibly find, because on the Elite Series, we visit a lot of big bodies of water, like the Great Lakes, Lake Erie, Lake St. Clair. We go up to the St. Lawrence River, Lake Champlain. So we're on a lot of big water, and I really wanted to find the smoothest ride that I could find in a bass boat. And so I feel like I've definitely found that here with this Vexus VX21. I love this boat.
Well, what are you pulling it with? Tell us about that, and then we'll get into looking at the boat.
Yeah, definitely. Just a Toyota Tundra. We got it wrapped with obviously my title sponsor Suzuki. They've been with me now, getting ready to start my 10th year on tour, and it'll be my 9th year with Suzuki. So just love those guys there at Suzuki. Just really, really awesome people to work with, and they make one heck of an outboard motor. So that's my tow vehicle, just a Toyota Tundra. And then, like I said, here's my boat. We got Suzuki, obviously, as the title deal, and then Yozuri and all my other sponsors. But yeah, if you want me to, I can just kind of just do a run, just kind of run over all the features on the outside, and then I can hop inside and just kind of start opening the compartments and kind of showing the layout.
That's perfect. You bet.
Okay, well we'll start back here. With the engine, obviously my Suzuki 250 SS. This is a 4-stroke outboard engine. Just super reliable engine. In my opinion, it's the most reliable engine on the market. The saltwater guides that run Suzuki's, they're putting over 10,000 hours on these motors. So, for a bass fisherman, it's hard to even fathom 10,000 hours. Like if we put 1,000 hours on a motor, it would take years and years to do that. I fished all the time last year, and I put 250 hours on this engine. So, that right there, speaks about the reliability is getting 10,000 hours out of an engine. So, just like I said, 4-stroke engine, very fuel efficient, super quiet, very reliable. Running a 3-bladed 27 pitch prop. The Suzuki lower unit is geared a little bit differently than some of the other outboard motors on the market, so I can run a bigger pitch prop, than some of the other motors. So the larger pitch, helps with your hole shot, and definitely has a super quick hole shot. Something else that helps me with my hole shot is the Bob's Machine Action Series jack plate. This is a 10-inch Action Series. So, if I'm in shallow water, I can get 6 inches of rise on my jack plate just in a matter of inches. So, that's definitely super important, to maximize your hole shot and also run in shallow water. We got the 2 power pole 8-foot blades here. Got them painted up to match my jack plate. We went with the black and blue color scheme on this boat. I think it looks really slick. But the power pole blades are super key in shallow water. Anytime you're fishing in shallow water, you definitely need the power poles to stop you when you catch a fish. You can maximize your fishing areas, way better that way. It's going to lock you down in that place, and you can be really quiet and catch more fish that way. Just a few other features out here on the outside. Gator Guard's kill shield. I've been with Gator Guard's kill shield for several years now, but in my opinion, this is the best investment under $200 that you can put on a bass boat. It's going to save your fiberglass. You can beach this boat on, just up on the bank. If you are launching on a boat ramp with no dock, you can just pull this boat directly up on the ramp, and it's going to protect your fiberglass and your keel from any damage. So, this is a 8-foot keel shield, so it goes all the way down there, and super important. And like I said, it's under $200. So I think that's everything that we really need to talk about out here on the outside. I'm gonna go ahead and hop in, and we'll just kind of talk about the electronics, and then I'll start opening up some of these compartments, and we'll just kind of dive into how I have all my tackle and rods and everything like that, laid out, and how I have just kind of my system for staying organized out here on tour. So right here, obviously at the cockpit, we got 2 Lowrance HDS 12s. And so, this one over here I'll use, for the most part, this is my side scan unit. And then this unit over here, I'll do a split screen. I'll have three screens on this one. I'll have my GPS pulled up with my navionics mapping. Then I'll have my sonar, and I'll have my down scan. And so, that's how I have it set up back here for, really for offshore fishing. I can find a lot of good offshore structure and, find those schools of fish. So that's my electronics back here at the cockpit. Up here on the bow, I got another HDS 12, and then I have an HDS 9. So this unit back here is mostly for GPS, my navionics mapping. I'll have some just regular 2D sonar on this one, and then my HDS 9 up front, that will be for my live side. So that's my live sonar, the forward shooting sonar, as you can see right here with this transducer. That's shooting out in front of the boat. So that's what this unit's for. Got a hydrowave here, Minn Kota Ultrex trolling motor.
I want you to talk about hydrowave. You got a hydrowave on your boat. What do you think about that?
I think it's definitely an important tool, especially when you're offshore fishing. I've seen several times trying to get this sun angle right here. The sun's setting over here on the East Coast, and we're losing our sun real quick. But the hydrowave is super important when you're fishing offshore, in my opinion. There's been times where, I've had a school of fish fired up, and I'm catching them every cast, and then they die down. That always happens. It's hard to keep a school fired up offshore. And I've seen it many times where I crank my hydrowave up, I'll turn the volume up. There's sometimes I'll turn the volume all the way up, like as loud as it'll go. And it gets those fish excited again. They think there's, some more bait fish coming in the area, or, something has made the bait fish in that area, scared. And then those fish get fired back up again, and you can literally go from not catching anything to just all of a sudden, as soon as you, turn that hydrowave, full blast, they get fired back up, and you start catching them every cast again. So I think that it really shines offshore. Fishing shallow, I think it definitely helps fishing shallow in some instances, but definitely offshore fishing is where it shines.
And if you don't mind me asking, is that something that you just have on the whole time, or do you wait till you feel like you need it and then turn it on?
Yeah, I think it's best to have like the delay, kind of do a delay. So it'll play for like a minute, and then it'll stop for 30 seconds, and then it'll play for another minute. I feel like, that's probably going to be your best deal, instead of just having it going nonstop. If you have it going nonstop, I think the fish, kind of get used to it. So I think it's good to get it on that delay.
Well, thanks for sharing that with us. That's important. At least to me, I want to know more about that, because I've never used that before. It's funny. I've used coyote calls to try to draw coyotes in, but I've never used that in my fishing.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, go ahead and continue. Don't let me interrupt you.
All right. Yes, it's no big deal. If you have any questions as I'm talking, just definitely ask away for sure. But as far as back here in the back, just kind of want to show you several things. We have the Lithium Pro batteries back here. And so what's cool about this boat is I literally only have one trolling motor battery. And so this is a 36 volt. I don't know if you can see it good. Is that showing up good?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Yeah, so this right here is a 36 volt, but it's literally one battery. So it's essentially, three 12 volt batteries combined in, one just oversized battery. So, this cuts down on a lot of weight. I think by getting rid of the 3 AGM cranking batteries and just putting this one 36 volt lithium battery, I'm saving. I did the math one time, and I'm saving like 180 to 200 pounds in this boat. So, that's another thing that helps me, maximize my whole shot. Is when you get a lot of weight out of the back of the boat, that whole shot's going to be super quick. So that's what really, like, a lot of guys, in the bass boat world talk about whole shot and, their boats being sluggish, coming out of the hole. And that's probably the biggest game changer that I've seen is these lithium batteries, because you just save so much weight back here in the back. And the company that I go with is Lithium Pro batteries. They're actually made in Knoxville, Tennessee, where I'm originally from. And they're just super reliable and work really, really good. So I just have one trolling motor battery, and then over here I just have this 12 volt lithium battery for my starting and my electronics and everything like that. So everything is ran off of this one lithium battery. I do have another AGM battery just sitting over here, just kind of as a backup. Nothing's even hooked to it. It's just kind of a worst case scenario type deal in case if something goes wrong. But I've not had any issues all year with this setup. It's worked flawless all year. I have a power pole charge right down here. So not only does the power pole charge my batteries, but it also balances my batteries throughout the day. So if my trolling motor battery gets a little bit weak, or vice versa, if my starting battery gets weak, it'll take power from one battery and transfer it to the other. So there's definitely a lot of technology in this charger, and balancing those batteries throughout the day is really important, because there's nothing worse than going to turn your key late in the day after fishing. You got a live well full of fish and it won't turn over. So that's definitely not going to happen with this setup, because that charge definitely keeps them both balanced, and everything's good to go there. So that's that's how I have my battery set up. As far as just my compartments, I'll just kind of start opening stuff. I got a lot of just heavy tackle back here. Obviously I got my blackfish gear, rain gear, stuff back here on top. But I have a lot of my heavier stuff. For instance, I got jigs, I got some spinner baits, my rattling bob, crankbaits. All of my heavier baits are back here. Obviously my jig heads, shaky heads, stuff like that. Try to keep that towards the back of the boat. Over here, I just have my spare prop, my tools. Have a pair of jumper cables here in case if I see another boat on the water that's stranded, I can help them out that way. Want to show you guys this live well system here. This is a very innovative live well system from Vexus, and what they call it is the intensive care live well system. And so as you can see, just looking at it, it obviously looks different than most live wells. We have these two plexiglass lids with a rubber seal on the bottom side of the lid. And so basically what this does is there's two different levels that you can set this live well up on. You can have it set up like on just a regular, fill mode, where when you're pumping new water in, it's just going to kind of let the water go out of the live wells and just kind of keep that fresh water circulating. But if you set it on the full mode, and it's down here, it's a switch. There's a normal mode and a full mode. If you just turn that dial over to full mode, it will literally fill the live wells completely all the way to the top of the live well, and it'll be right on the bottom side of this plexiglass lid. And so what that is good for is for like a long run. Like if you're 30 miles from the boat ramp and you're getting ready to run back in for weigh-in, there's nothing worse than having those fish getting sloshed around, for 30 minutes or 45 minutes as you're running back to the weigh-in. So this live well system here, you basically take all the air out of the live well. So the live well is completely full with water, and so there's nowhere for the water to slosh, because what causes slosh is when there's air in the live well. So if you take the air out of the live well, fill it all the way to the underside of that lid, those fish are going to have a lot better ride back to the weigh-in, because they're not going to get banged around and sloshed around. So, that's very important. Like I said earlier, we fish a lot of big bodies of water on the Elite Series. And, when you're up there on the Great Lakes and you got a nice bag of smallmouth, definitely need to take care of your catch when you're running back in. Okay, let's go ahead and show you the cooler here. It's got an oversized cooler right here in the middle. So, it's positioned in a good area where, when you're sitting down driving, you can access your drinks and everything. It's just right here, easy. You can, have all of your drinks and cold items over here. And then if you want stuff to kind of stay cool but not necessarily get in the ice, then you put it over here. So this area kind of stays cool, but it's separate from where you put your ice, which is pretty neat. We got a compartment right here in the middle that's just kind of like your catch-all drawer. You can put your scales, you can put your culling clips, just anything that you just need to access quickly. I got a balance beam here, so I just kind of throw all that stuff in here that I'm using pretty frequently. As far as the way I have my tackle set up, I really want to have most of my tackle, especially stuff that I'm using a lot for that particular tournament. I'm going to just put it up here. I can sit here and open this one compartment up and really access everything that I need for that day. Obviously, once I start fishing, these rods come out, and I have everything nice and organized. So I got my Yozuri hard baits, and got my Yamamoto Senkos and stuff like that, just kind of super organized, laid up through here. And got a few rods right over there that I use for that particular day. But then I keep all my other rods over here. As you can see, huge rod locker in this boat. You can put way too many rods in here than you would ever need, fishing for a day. So that's the bad thing about having such a big boat, is you take way too much tackle. I'm kind of a tackle hoarder. So it don't matter if I'm fishing out of a 12-foot boat or if I'm fishing out of a 22-foot boat. I'm going to fill it all the way up with tackle and take as much as I can. So we're almost finished here. Just a couple more compartments. We have another just kind of a smaller storage bin over here that I have. I have a lot of my soft plastics over here, just in 3700s. And then, I have some bags of other plastics as well. And then up here, we just have all kinds of stuff. We have my Yozuri line, fluorocarbon line. We got some extra frogs, just, miscellaneous items that I don't necessarily use all the time, but, definitely want to have on the boat with me, kind of just in case type deal. Always carry extra life jackets with you. And, I got, under all this tackle, I got a push pole, for accessing shallow water. And then, I have obviously you definitely have to have a paddle, flare gun, also have a fire extinguisher, just all my safety items.
Well, I wanted to ask you. It looked like I saw a hand throttle there. Are you a hand throttle guy or are you a foot throttle guy?
No, I have a hot foot, so the hot foot's down here.
Okay.
So yeah, just the hand throttle is just for just putting it in forward, neutral, and reverse. Something I do have on this hand throttle, as you can see right here, I got earmuffs, and people. Let's see if I can. This phone's kind of weird, but people always see these and they're like, "Why do you have earmuffs on your on your throttle shifter there?" And so once again, going back to long runs, I learned this. I learned this actually this summer, running down to Ticonderoga at Lake Champlain. It was I think it was a little over an hour of driving, going full throttle. And I got down there and my head was just throbbing. And I was just like, man, like what in the world's going on? Like I knew it was something with the wind noise because it was just feeling weird in my ear. And so, that wind can really, over time, that wind noise can damage your ears. So after that experience, I said, I ain't going to do that again. I know if I continue to do that, something's going to really affect me long term. So I wised up real quick and got me some earmuffs. And now anytime I'm making, even a short run, like 10-minute, boat ride or whatever, I'll put those things on. As much as we fish out here, just kind of got to think of everything, just to be able to prolong your career. I feel like Rick Clunn has done that better than anybody. He's 74 now, and he's out here fishing on the Elite Series, competing against, guys like me, and then obviously a lot younger guys. He's fishing against 20-year-olds out here, and he's 74. So, I've talked to Rick multiple occasions about, how he's able to do it. And, he just really takes care of his body. He thinks about, everything, from, as far as the boat ride. He's just definitely trying to keep his body in good shape. So, I think that's a very important deal out here, fishing as much as we do just to stay on the water.
Well, Brandon, listen, that was a great tour. I really appreciate you taking us through the boat like that. I don't know that I have any questions. You pretty much covered everything. Best of luck to you. We got the Bassmaster Classic coming up. Anything before the Bassmaster Classic? Oh, I guess the first Elite Series event, right?
Yeah, the first two Elite events will be in February before the Classic. They haven't announced the schedule yet, but they did tell us that we're going to have two events in I think February. Yeah, so I think the first Elite event will be like the second week in February, and then I think the second Elite event will be towards the end of February, and then we'll have the Classic the middle of March, and then we'll have obviously the rest of the Elite Series after that. So I think that they're going to release the schedule probably the 1st of December. So we're still looking maybe a week out on that. Super stoked about that, just to kind of see where we're going. I know that we got some new fisheries on the schedule. They've told us that. So I love going to new bodies of water and just, fishing places that we don't fish all the time. That's probably one of the coolest things, for me, is just going to a place that I don't know anything about and just trying to figure it out, for that particular week that we're there. So that's definitely something that I wish we could do more of, is just, go to these new bodies of water, because that's really fun, just kind of starting fresh.
Okay, well, Brandon, thanks a lot for doing this today, and best of luck to you. We'll be in touch. All right.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Keith. Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks a lot. Couple Outfitters specializes in adventure gear. Anything you need for getting outside, Couple Outfitters has it and more. Go have an adventure now.